What's up, guys? It's John with National Sports Entertainment, and I just wanted to go into tonight's games. As I said, I wanted to go through the sequences that we haven't closed out and close them out. So we did 4 yesterday, and we were able to close out 2. We got the Clippers closed out, and the Hawks fading the Bucks finally worked. We closed that one out. As far as the Heat, that one I do have a third leg in store, and I think it's a good one. Simply for the reason I just don't think Steven. I saw an article that I found that was interesting, and essentially it was saying, so this is going to be a third leg. I'd be like 107. Stephen A. Smith was basically essentially saying how they're now just emasculating Kyrie at this point, and it's interesting. I think everything these people say is fake, but I do believe Stephen A. Smith is always the theoretical voice of reason. I think a lot of times he's called out as being too staunch or whatever that case may be. But I do think, honestly, he's pretty just passionate about what he believes to be on certain issues. I do remember, like with Kaepernick, for example. He was with him at first, but then a bunch of stuff came up, and then at some point he wasn't really with him. So with Kyrie, he was against him a lot in the beginning, and now a lot of stuff's coming up, and he's saying basically, if you're disgusted with the guy, fine, trade him, but to sign him and then give him these tasks, and I still don't even know his comments. I will say that even he didn't really come out and say they weren't anti-Semitic, so I can't imagine that they weren't. So, but I just basically know he said something, quote, and it's it's one of those words that gets thrown around a lot, but I am guessing that there was some anti-Semitism there, only because nobody's actually defended the comments, and usually somebody will at least defend the comments. But there are players coming out saying, hey, this isn't helping our cause here when you're crucifying a guy, and you have people bringing up other issues. But I don't want to get political. The reason I picked the Nets a few days ago, they were on ESPN, and here they are at home. It's one of the he's only even been suspended 5 games. He's probably going to be suspended for more. But I think, again, it's a perfect game for the Nets to come out and look really strong. And they need to stay in the division. Vegas had the division pretty close between the Nets and Sixers, and then the Raptors were next. So, and the Celtics were in there too. The Knicks were the only ones that didn't really have a shot. And I think the Knicks might surprise people, and I've been saying that for a while. But I still think they need the Nets to look strong tonight. And they've been doing okay without Kyrie, been doing okay without Nash. And if you noticed, when anything Kevin Durant was doing in the last game, Kyrie was looking like a cheerleader. So they're going to do embarrassing things like that. You see it with Rodgers. It's no different here. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kyrie just came out and basically looked like a cheerleader. So that's the reason I went with this for a third leg. I think it's a strong one. I was thinking about picking the Lakers. I was thinking about fading the Cavs. Again, I think they're good picks. And I'll probably do them as first sequences. But for a third sequence, I do like the Nets. And I didn't forget about our third leg here with New Orleans. We lost it. It was basically an as advertised game. That's what should have happened. But, of course, what should happen usually doesn't. That's why I went with the Saints. As you can see, we have our fourth one locked in. And if you've been following for a little bit, you know what that means. A little story, 8 days ago, we had lost sequence. We were in a sequence, and we had lost leg 3 because we decided to put our faith in the hands of LeBron James. And he lost, and that we had a decision to make, either close it out or go for a fourth leg. We went for a fourth leg and won everything back on that sequence. I'm not guaranteeing it's going to happen, but now a theory, again, it's just one I'm going to stick with that I believe is very strong, is the Russell Wilson comeback tour. So we have Russell Wilson coming back here from after a bye week, right? And again, he basically all but told us, all right, the comeback's starting in London. If you watch how his demeanor changed and everything. So now coming back, Titans just played a very good game against the Chiefs. I would think the public's going to be fading Denver. You can see the experts are fading Denver. And we're not getting an Aaron Rodgers comeback tour. Brady's not really coming back because the division sucks. So the comeback is Russell Wilson. You can only have one comeback tour. It's like wrestling. Something like, you have too many people come back and in the same weekend it gets kind of dry. So I really expect the Broncos to win. I am going to take the +3, and like I said, sometimes I'm hoping it'll move to 3.5. I'm doubting it does. My luck it'll move to 2.5. But if last week it did move in, I think in our favor by half a point. But you could take the money line, but I'm just liking the +3. There always is that chance of a 3-point game, as we just saw the Titans have one. So I think it'd be, I always like taking, if I can get the plus points, depending on the odds. But in this case, I really do. So I don't want to go into too many things. Like I said, I want to just close out these sequences. So Let's Ride, of course, is always going to be it's Russell. I'm sticking with that narrative each week, essentially. So we will be able to have what I believe to be very, very favorable leg 3-4s. And then for our leg 3 of sequence 123, we got the Nets -2. So sometimes it's hard waiting a week. You want to win your money back immediately. But the Lakers played Thursday, I think it was last week. Did not come through for us, and I had decided instead of trying to get it back the next day with what I thought was a good basketball game. I don't think I hit, though, so it wouldn't have been great. I decided we're going to wait till Sunday and do the Broncos. So I'm making that same decision this time. That's going to be my leg 4. Again, you don't have to do the leg 4. I said this last week, but I have faith in Russ and in this comeback story. So I think we all kind of see what's going on with the Broncos, and I think it'd be foolish not to take advantage of this metric. If I had to pick, I don't want to pick too many, but I do like... So first I liked the Lakers because I felt like a lot of people are going to be fading them, as well as the Kings with the spread. But then I wondered, well, if the Lakers lose, they go to 2-9, and then the Cavs would be 9-2 if they win. I thought that was an interesting theory. So now I'm just kind of leaning towards staying away from them. But if I had to pick, I would fade the Cavs because they're still 8-2 against the spread, which I don't think that continues. I would take the Kings with the 5. If I had to pick, I'd probably take the Lakers with the 4.5, and I would fade the Bucks again. Just because, again, they're still not going to continue even at 8-2 against the spread. That's gonna even out. So the Nets is the one that I love. I know it's not a lot of games; it's only one, and karma got me because we faded the Blazers. Was our only basketball loss yesterday, fading the Blazers. And you know how I felt about the Blazers. I think they're going to be the Western Conference champs. I thought seemed like a trap for a Heat team that wasn't playing that good. So. Yeah, that's the reason I went against the Blazers. But that's all I have for tonight. I just really do believe that the Nets win. So take care and happy earnings.